Hi guys, so I wanted to share an epiphany I had the other day, and this is what happens when you do research on dating. Like, I know, if you want to check out another video that I did a little bit ago on dating on my page, you can. But this is what I've learned, and this is one of the benefits of dating the way that I was discussing on my previous video, which I'll add a link, make it easy. Um, when you do your research and you're in your research years, my daughter's in my lap if you haven't figured it out. When you're in your research years, you learn elements of dating that you need. And so one thing that I learned that was like, that's it. Is that I need somebody that goes in with the knowledge, with the knowledge that one day the warm and fuzzy feeling is going to wear off. On average, statistically, 2 years is the amount of time that it takes for the warm and fuzzy feeling to wear off. So I need somebody that goes in knowing that, number one. And when we say, I need somebody that's just not going to quit, just not going to give up and walk away, sounds good, but there's another part to that. There are some people that stay because they're the type that don't want to quit, but there are people that stay but don't know that there's still work to be done. It's kind of like somebody showing up to work and not working. They're there, but they're serving absolutely no purpose. And so when you say you need somebody that's not going to quit, there's another element to it. I need somebody, I'm going to speak for myself. I need somebody that's not going to quit, that doesn't want to leave, that wants to stay, and that also feels, and not feels, but is versed in the techniques of the actions that they're going to need to take to keep that relationship going. Like, have you read the 5 love languages? Have you are you willing to go to couples counseling? So we can not to say there's anything wrong with us. Maybe we just need some new techniques. Maybe we need to dive into our past and our parenting relationships and see where the blocks come from. I need somebody that's willing to do the work after the warm and fuzzy feeling wears off. So that was an epiphany that I had. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. But when they say water your grass, the grass isn't greener on the other side. That means like once a week you got to water your grass. Once a week, once every 2 weeks you might have to cut it. You might have to edge it up. You might have to buy some new flowering pots. You might have to trim the shrubs. You have to do the work. So for me, doing the research, which is again what I talked about in the previous video about dating constantly to learn what makes you happy and not what you think will make you happy. I remember telling one of my exes that I was thirsty and I was tired of drinking my tears because he always made me cry. Well, I would say he made me cry. I cried because of the things that he did. Let me say it that way. And one day I just had to realize I was so thirsty I had to leave. Love is a need, and it's a need. It's a need like water. It's a need like food. It's a need like air. And when you don't get it, you can't be shocked that somebody goes somewhere else to fulfill their needs. But a lot of people don't know how to express that need. And a lot of people think that just, I'm here. That's enough, right? I ain't leave. I'm still here. But you're there and you're a dead thing. So that relationship is a dead thing. And, a dead thing doesn't hug. It doesn't kiss. It doesn't talk. It doesn't conversate. It doesn't, give you water if you're thirsty, food if you're hungry. Relationship and speaking in a language of love, you have to feed your partner, and your partner needs to be feeding you. So for me, that was just an epiphany that I had. And so I don't need somebody just like, I need somebody that goes into it knowing we're not gonna like each other every day, knowing that one day the warm and fuzzy feeling is gonna wear off, and knowing that there's work to be done once that happens. And I love hearing Jada Pinkett Smith talk about relationships where people, she said 2 things that stuck with me is that a lot of people are in relationships or in marriages, but they're not ready to be partners. But that was very wonderful and intriguing. And the other thing that she said, I can remember, my brain's coming back after having a baby, which you hear her in the background, is that they have that friendship love. And I think that you have to love somebody when you're not in love with them. And when you love somebody and you're not in love with them, you do the work so that you can bring back that in-love feeling. Because that in-love feeling, it fluctuates. It goes up and down. It comes and goes. It's there for a day. It goes away in 2 days. It's not back for another month. It's on vacation for a year. It comes back the next year. So you really just have to find somebody that's willing to do that work once that feeling goes away. And I realized that that's a big part of what I need. And so I need somebody that's going to step up to the relationship knowing that. And that doesn't mean everybody's your husband. Doesn't mean everybody's your wife. It doesn't mean you need to be working out with everybody. It doesn't mean once you hit a deal breaker that it's not a deal breaker and you're supposed to work it out anyway. And there are some people who are very, very good at staying in loveless relationships because they're committed to it. But if somebody's not doing the work, I think that that's reason enough to say it's time to go. Now, I need this taken care of before we get married. That you know that, you're willing to do that, and you're willing to keep working at it forever till death do us part. I really don't want to ever get divorced. I will if I have to. I'm not spending a whole life unhappy, but this is why I'm happy that God's kind of delayed my husband showing up, because I had this epiphany. I was like, oh my God, what if I got into a marriage and I didn't know that? You know, what if I got into marriage, I didn't get the epiphany that that's something that I needed? Because I get into these relationships, the warm and fuzzy wears off. He doesn't want to do the work anymore. I keep trying to make it work because this is something that's always been a part of me. But I realize I need that partner that feels that same way. And I realize that that's a big part of relationships and why they die and why people cheat and why people go somewhere else. Because you think just the next person is going to treat you so much better. And they may for that average, on average, 2-year amount of time. And then you're back to square one, the same square for that person, square one from that person from before who was really, really good for you, but you didn't want to do the work. Or you didn't think that it was a part of doing the work. Or you thought that just because the warm and fuzzy feeling wore off, that it was time to go and that somebody else was going to keep you happy forever. No, on average, the realistic part of a relationship is you go into it 2 years. After 2 years, no more farting rainbows. Time to start farting. I need somebody that has the lights already, that can hold their breath, and you know, if we need to fart battle, you want to play, we can play. I need somebody fun that's willing to go through that literally and figuratively. But that was just something that I thought about. So if your mindset isn't at that place when you step into a relationship, you probably would jump from relationship to relationship. And after you do what I call your research years from dating and learning, and again, learning what truly makes you happy, not what you think makes you happy, to the years where you need to start actually putting down some roots and building with somebody. If you don't go into it with that mindset, you're going to have some issues. So, and if you can't stand this baby hollering through this video, you probably not the one for me either. We got a doctor's appointment to go to. I hope this helps somebody. You know, good luck. All that fun stuff. And happy dating, guys. Have fun. Bye.